Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am so thrilled to be here in Budapest again, which I come to each year, and to be in this wonderful synagogue, as you see in the photos. And it's a little over past 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be interviewing the rabbi here, Tommy Verre. And actually, Tommy means Thomas, but he's called Tommy everywhere, and Geiger Nogradi, and they were the recipients of the Mensch Award last week in Budapest. Once a year we give Mensch Awards in Budapest, and they too were given the Mensch Award. They are both extra good human beings. I know them in person. I've known them for 20 years. It's a long time. And this will be a pleasure for me to interview them and for you to get an idea of what their mind is like. Thank you. Thank you for coming to us. Tommy, Geiger, how are you guys?
Thanks.
Perfect.
You have been Geiger Nogradi, the cantor here for how many years?
15?
It's around.
And you?
More.
20, 22?
Yeah, almost.
Almost like that. Because I remember when you started, and I remember when you started. You know, I come here every so often each year. I'm not a big synagogue goer myself, but I like to come because this is the only synagogue, not only that it's beautiful, but you have the most young people on a Friday night on Shabbat. And I've been to all the other synagogues. Dohain, when my parents were married in 1944, Haggadah Jula, Turkaliu, all the synagogues, even the Chabad, all of them. I don't know of any synagogue in the last few years that has as many people on a Shabbat and as many young people, many families with children. And
It's because the voice.
Not at all.
And he says because of
course,
the
that's
teacher. I think it's because of both of you. And I think the secret of it, is my opinion, is that both of you, you intellectually as well, because you're a writer, you're not just a cantor and an opera singer, but both of you intellectually give, but you also give from your heart, which is obvious. It's obvious to the people here. It's full. On a Friday night, it's full. We tried to take photos here, but he says no photos here on a Shabbat. So somehow, maybe secretly, I'm going to have my photographer come in and do a shot, maybe on Friday. Anyway, where were you, Tommy, before being the rabbi here? Were you a rabbi at a different synagogue, or were you in Israel?
No, I finished my study here in the Rabbi Seminary, and then first year in 1999, I was here next to the chief rabbi of the Frankel Synagogue called Zinger Ödön, and then from that time I'm still here. So 25 years I'm here.
When were you in Israel? Because you tried to make Aliyah for a while.
You know, in the study, through the Rabbi Seminary, it was a half a year there to study.
But you didn't make Aliyah.
No.
And when you started here, it was 15 years ago. Where were you before?
Before a cantor, you mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't a cantor.
The opera singer.
Yes, I was an opera singer in the 90s, and then I was a writer and an editor, chief editor at newspapers and magazines.
Which one, for instance?
Gossip magazines. For example, I was editor in and story, best, starok.
All in Hungarian.
All on Hungary, yes.
Where did you learn your English?
My English is not so sophisticated, it's a little bit limited. I learned it in Jerusalem mainly, and in high school. In Jerusalem at the university, I was at the Department of International Relations and Musicology in Jerusalem for 2 years.
2 years is a long time, so you have to learn English.
I had, yes.
Did you learn Hebrew as
yes,
well?
Of course.
Which is better, your Hebrew or your English?
English.
Or your Hungarian?
Hungarian.
It's not so good.
Where did you learn your English?
In the school.
Here in
I
Hungary?
studied in the Jewish high school called Anna Frank.
Okay. Okay. In your opinion, I know you're very modest, and try not to be too modest. What is the secret of this synagogue today that they get so many people?
Let's ask Geiger.
No. We're not playing tennis here. Okay. What is your opinion? Then I'll ask him.
I think we work many years and we are doing what we can do, and that's it. Like, we are not trying to play, to act differently. We are doing what we are feeling.
You act like yourself.
Yes.
And that shows. And you, what do you think?
Rabbi. Yes,
You're kissing up to him.
No, he's...
I'm teasing you. I know that.
His humanity, his knowledge, his kindness, and it's very appealing.
You know, when you speak like this, it's obvious that you have a singing voice.
Yes, but he says that
Okay, okay.
higher, louder, louder.
That's
He
it.
says,
Sing some short thing for just one chant.
Shema Yisrael Adoshem Elokeinu Adoshem Echad.
I'm glad we don't have any glasses here, because if we had a glass here, we'd break them.
Yes, but if you say that I have to sing, I made a warming up.
Did you ever meet Pavarotti?
Yes.
Yeah?
I was a waiter in a hotel where he stayed, and it was a hiding, and I brought for him a cup of water with ice cubes, because he always, ice cubes, always, how do you say, sopogatni.
You were sucking your ice cubes.
Yes. So I brought it him, I was a real guy.
Waiter?
A waiter, yes, in the Hilton hotel.
Now, you started as an opera singer.
Yes.
What made you become a cantor?
Oh, a lot of things.
Both your parents Jewish?
Yes, let me tell you the truth that I was pushed by the family for years or for decades to begin my studies, my cantor studies. But I didn't want it because I had very bad memories from my childhood. I was at the Seder table, and it was a long time.
Oh, I cannot sit through a Seder myself.
And I was a kid, 6 years old, 7 years old.
It's actually child abuse, I think, to make a child for 3 hours to sit there.
say
Why is this day better than the blah, 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 blah.
But
God.
my grandpa was Orthodox, and he made such a long.
Fekete Lotzi was a good cantor.
He's a good cantor.
I was at his house, and he had this long Seder, and I excused myself, look, I have jet lag, I gotta go home.
And I got sheets, music sheets, from the US, from the relatives.
Right.
But I never wanted to begin this thing. And then some things changed in my life, and I began the studies at the
Did you actually sing at the opera here in Budapest?
Now?
No, before.
Yes. Also Budapest, Verona, Stuttgart.
Everywhere. You don't miss it? That you didn't
Not at
continue?
all, not at all. No.
Your voice is still terrific.
But not in the morning, and without
It's
warming.
it's not morning.
It's so fresh,
It's 10 o'clock, 10 minutes. Well, morning was a long time ago.
Very, very early for a singer, without the warming.
Warming. How did you find Geiger? Or did he find you?
I can't remember. You find me. No, it was that he didn't tell the true story. It was when he worked in the opera. Somebody went to him and he said, "They are a Jew," And then he start to come to the Franke, to the Jewish life, and then
When he said you were a Jew, was it an insulting way?
No.
In Hungarian, lezsidózod?
No. It's it's another. The story is not. It's almost this.
Okay,
almost.
so continue it.
The story is that I was writing some novels, making shorten. To shorten novels.
Right.
It's a retold. You mean it's also in the US and in England retold stories. There's a novel, a real one, a long one,
And then a
tough
short one, okay.
and I have to make it more comfortable, more acceptable for the
Digest.
children. Yes.
There's a magazine called Reader's Digest in America, which is like 100 years old. It's called shortened excerpts.
Yes, but it was a big work because it's not so short as 2-3 pages. It was a real book,
Right.
200 pages.
Okay.
It's not 2,000, just like
Not
the
that novella.
Les Mis, Les Miserables, the nyomorultak. How is it in
Well,
English?
Nyomorultak is the...
Shabathsong, and
No.
I don't know the English title.
Nyomorultak is...
Les
I'm
Miserables.
thinking in Hungarian all day long. Les Miserables.
In English?
Victor,
Really?
oui.
Because it's
En
a
français.
French. It's a French.
Les Miserables.
Also in English.
Oui.
Okay. And it was 2,000 pages, and I made 200 pages. It was a tough work, and I made it with 15 novels. So it was a long work with other skilled people like teachers and literatures. Irodalmárok. I don't know how is it irodalmár.
Literature.
Okay, literature people.
People who are...
For literature, yes, and editors, And I made them shorten these 15 books.
Professors of literature.
And they were attacking us with my father because the idea was my father's. He proposed me to do it, and some people attacked us. The 2 Jews are
killing.
meghamisítják.
They're not forger.
Faking the big, real, super Hungarian novels. And we said that everywhere in the world they make it, everywhere they want to adapt more comfortable, more acceptable for the children. We do what they do in everywhere in the world. And they were attacking, and I was surprised. Wow, they are attacking. Never happened before to me. They are attacking because of my religion. Okay, I will be Jewish.
This is the State Opera on Andrassy Street at the Opera House.
It wasn't in the street. It's writing.
Writing.
I left the singing in
No, but where was
2000.
when you were in the opera? That's the opera.
But there was no problem when I was a singer. There was
But
no
that was the
attacking.
place.
No.
It's a different place, not in the.
Attacking?
No, the opera where you sing.
Yes.
This is the question. That was in the opera
On
house.
Andrassy Street.
What was in the
Which
opera?
opera house did you sing?
When I sang.
Yeah.
Also in the opera house, operette house, everywhere.
Okay. You were freelancer or you were contracted?
I was freelancer. I was invited to all of those
Okay,
theaters.
no,
Just you were jumping from the writing to the
Okay,
singing.
I know, we're asking
understand.
everything.
Okay. Because it's back to the past.
I'm going to ask some provocative questions. I come here every year. I was born here, I left here when I was 8 years old. But I'm here every year since I've been an adult. And I'm familiar with the entire Jewish community, basically. What do you think is the future of young people staying in Hungary, being Jewish and coming to synagogue? Do you think, I'm asking you first, Tommy, do you see a future that is going to continue? Because even on Friday night, we have children, we have families, but mostly it's in Yiddish, it's alte kakers, old people. Do you think the young people are going to continue coming?
As a rabbi, I can say yes. They will come, they will continue to come to the synagogue, the shul, and much more like they will keep the Jewish life at home. So I think.
But will they come here? Obviously, if they're in Hungary, they'll come. What about emigration to Israel, to other places in the world?
It depends on the world. Like if it's attacks and anti-Semitism, they will go, they will move. But now I think that that's a future here.
Right now, it's fairly safe. What do you think?
It's a tough question.
If you were 14 years old right
Yes.
now, and you came to the synagogue with your parents, you
Yes.
got bar mitzvah,
Yes.
you're 14 and you're in high school and you're going to finish and study something, would you want to stay in Hungary or would you want to emigrate to some other place? Either Israel, America, Canada.
It depends on your religiousness. How do you say it in English?
Right.
How religious
how
are
religious
you?
you are, right.
If you are religious, I think it's very, very hard to be a religious Jew in Hungary. You know, for example, it's almost impossible to get kosher food in the country. If you live in Kőszeg, if you live in Kisvárda, if you
No,
live
it's impossible.
It's almost it's possible, but almost
only in
impossible.
Budapest you have a few, maybe 4.
Yes. The other question that if you live in Kőszeg or in Kisvárda, staying with these examples, how can you pray? Where is a minyan?
So how many Jews are in Kisvárda? Not too many.
Everyone knows everything.
Most of the Jews I know are in Budapest anyway.
Because the deportation started in the countryside.
Of course.
So first of all, if you live in a country, and 8 million people live in the country,
Right.
also 7.5 million, they cannot be religious Jews, to be honest. Or with blood and sweat and tears, you know.
Let me ask you another question, again provocative. The salaries in Hungary are far less than people get just in Austria. I'm not even going further, just next door. Can you make a living from what you get?
No. Is a rabbi in the country in Hungary?
As a cantor right now.
I think, as a cantor, I think that the cantors are really, really badly paid. Let me tell you honestly, but they know it. You know, I don't want to talk about it because they know it everything.
No, but you have other work that you do.
Of course, everybody has.
To make extra
There's
money.
no one cantor who lives only from the cantorial salary.
And you as a rabbi, same? What do you do besides being a rabbi to make money?
I'm teaching in the Jewish high school,
Okay.
and I'm working in the
Jewish high school,
Camp.
you mean at the Lauder or
in the Shabathsong.
a Shiver? Okay. So you get money from that, from teaching. So basically, you're working full-time, meaning from morning to night, because you got 2-3 jobs.
And we are doing because we are loving it.
It's a tough place. It's a very tough place. It's a very beautiful place. It's amazing. What year was the synagogue built?
1888.
And
August.
and apartments around it?
No, it was the synagogue. So
then
how many years? 135 years ago, the synagogue, and then the Jews built around the house, like 30 years
I
after
don't
it.
know of any place like this where you have in the middle of an apartment block, you have a synagogue. It's a very unusual situation. Great.
Unique. It's unique.
Do you have children, Tommy?
Yes,
How many?
2 girls,
How old are they?
21 and 16.
21 already, wow.
We are old.
I remember I met you about 20 years ago at your brother-in-law's wedding at Lauder.
Yes.
God knows his wedding.
I was there too.
You were there
I
too.
also was there.
You have children?
Yes, 2 children.
How old are they?
My son is 22, my daughter is 20.
Oh, you started to have children when you were 13 then? If you were 22.
13?
Well,
What do you drink? I want to invite you.
how old are you?
I'm 53.
You look much younger. How old are you, Tommy?
51.
You both look younger.
I passed.
Okay, it's obvious that both of you are very happy people. I've known you for years and I know that you're happy people. I'm just asking these questions rhetorically for the audience that sees it. Both of you are Mensch's as far as I'm concerned, and I was very proud to give you the Mensch Award last Tuesday. We had a house full of people, but you got the awards, and it's obvious that people respect you and are happy that you guys are here.
It's our honor, and we are very grateful to you and to the Mensch Foundation.
As they say in French, toda rabba.
Toda rabba. Merci beaucoup.
Peter, I've known you for many years. Too many years to add up. We don't want to talk about our ages. But
We're both young.
we feel young anyway. This synagogue is beautiful.
It is indeed.
A few days ago, I came here and I interviewed Tommy, and I interviewed your nephew Geiger. And Pishta was photoing this whole thing, and it's remarkable. You know, you can never photo this place too much. It's such a wonderful looking. How long you been coming here?
I would say like 20 years. Before that I was going to Haggadah, which is another synagogue.
I know.
Because we were living in that area with my parents. And before that I was going to Nirek Haza, where I was 2 days ago. That's where I born.
Where were you born?
In Nirek Haza.
Oh, you were born in that house.
Of course I am.
Wow. I knew Yavor Lotzi in San Francisco, who's passed away. He was from Yeretzhausen a long time ago. So you're born in Yeretzhausen what year?
1959.
So 11 years after I. How come your parents were still there at that time?
Well, they come back from the Holocaust and they were looking for family. Many Hungarian families who had the luck to come back and survive the Holocaust. They come back to look for a family, and that's what my parents did. And then they find almost nobody because the whole family perished in the Holocaust.
All three of them survived, the three sisters.
3 sisters. Of course, they were altogether 9 brothers and sisters, and the other 6 haven't survived. Just the 3 sisters.
How old were these 3 sisters?
Well, the youngest was 14 years old.
And your mother was?
She was 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the middle sister?
She was 18.
So the 14, 18, 20 survived Auschwitz.
Yes.
They were sent to work there.
Yes, and what they did, they helped each other, and it was a very important lesson that I learned from my childhood, that you need to be very strong together with your family and with your brothers and support each other.
The other 6 perished in Auschwitz.
Yes, with their children.
And their children also?
Of course, they were more elderly.
It's incredible. You know, the more I talk about this, I mean, my family was the same from my father's side, but it's, I relive it every time I ask somebody like you. Okay, so your mother came back with the 2 sisters to Nirek Haza.
Yes, and then one of the sisters emigrated to Israel.
Okay, and her family still lives in Israel?
Yes, my cousins are still living in Israel.
Grandchildren and so forth. Okay, and the other two sisters?
They
other sister though?
Yeah, in Hungary, Budapest, Romania.
Okay, but you were born then in 59, 14
Yes.
years after the Holocaust. And then when did they come to Budapest?
When I was about 16 years old, and I did graduated in the Jewish high school here, which was called Anna Frank. Yeah.
So that's very late. What did your father do in your house for work?
He was a merchant.
But wasn't everything nationalized at that point?
No, there was some private enterprises permitted, and that's what.
So he was able to make a living.
Yes,
and your mother?
He was helping like a Jewish mother, housewife.
And you have brothers and sisters, as I know?
Yes, I have 3 brothers, and we were 4 altogether. I had a sister who passed away, and I have 2 brothers.
Now, one of your brothers is Gabor.
Yes, he's a writer.
He's a writer, and it's his son, who's Geiger, who's a fantastic voice on the cantor here.
Yeah.
What do you think is the future? You also the vice chairman of Majlis.
Vice president.
Or vice president of Majlis, which is the Jewish community that organizes all the synagogues and hospitals. Everything that has to do with the Jewish affairs mostly is run by Majlis. What is your, if you could prognosticate, what do you think is the future of the Jewish community here in Budapest?
Well, look, we have a history of thousands of years, so I assume that we have also a future. We have a promised land, we have a promised future. I'm optimistic.
I see a lot of young people that come to the synagogue. Today is Shabbos. It starts in a few minutes, so we're allowed to talk before Shabbat. And there's a lot of young people that come to the synagogue. And I think it's thanks to your not only a nephew, but to Rabbi Vedder.
Who is happened to be my second cousin.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, he is a second cousin?
Yes, the sisters that we were talking about, the three sisters.
Right.
So one of the sisters is the grandmother of
Oh, the one that
rabbi.
came, that one also came
Yeah.
to Budapest. So this is like Mishpoka here.
It's a family
So
synagogue.
basically you own the synagogue.
We don't own it, but my brother is praying here. So you know my brother Thomas.
Yeah, of course. Basically you own
His
it.
son.
As far as I'm concerned, you own the synagogue.
We are 500,000.
Listen, you're coming to the States in the summer,
Hopefully.
and I'm arranging for you to speak in California in several places. So we'll talk about that later, and right now,
You must discuss it with my wife because it's vacation.
everything. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Zehra tu vaya vi uvetit katayar nenum hanumerato madana hayere kapai mukalase to vadana la ko vera kamu vadamasa kado adonai kol mase kavasi de kaye bargutra kevonad kayo meru ogora kaye dameru alade yale de hada hamgevora uvadamaguto makota maguto Amen.